I've restarted this video like 3 times already because this has me so... I feel for you, Andy. Hey, it's Gabby with an I. I'm back with part 2 of this Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion, and I am mentally not well. So we start off with Mary's grandhusband and their whole package. They basically showed all the footage of the season because she was only there for like 2.5 seconds. So we talk about her sweat glands and how she got them removed. Apparently it was a necessary procedure. I thought it was like elective surgery because she wants to be so perfect, and Mormons want to be so perfect, that I thought being sweaty made you like less than that. Apparently, yeah, she gets boils and all the, I don't know, like all of the other ailments that Moses probably would have put on her back in the day for being a heathen. This is something that irritated the hell out of me starting off on this reunion. We talk about how Jen and Mary got into it about Jen's aunt being put in the hospital and getting her legs amputated. And that's kind of what kicked off the season, episode 1. Mary said she smelled like hospital. Jen got mad about it. And then the beef started for the whole season. So you're going to sit up here and tell me that you weren't even at the hospital that day. Mary just said she smelled hospital, which is probably the smell of her husband because he has 1 foot in the grave and is geriatric as hell. Make it make sense. Make all of it make sense. All of this could have been avoided if Jen didn't freak out and Mary would have shut up. This was the reason for the conflict the whole season, and she wasn't even at the hospital. She was there the other day. So all of this could have been avoided. Jen wants an apology. Mary says she's apologized several times, and yes, it's on tape, but she doesn't think it's sincere. So this is a part where I put a pot and a kettle right here because, Jen, you got a lot of nerve. Every time you have apologized to somebody, you have actually not been sincere. And I think it's just your guilty conscience speaking because you don't think anyone can be sincere ever. We get on to this dreaded 7-Eleven comment. Mary. Jen and Mary had a conversation, and Mary stated that if she was at a 7-Eleven and there was a bunch of sketchy guys, Jen says sketchy black guys, she wouldn't get out. Now look, it's hard for me to pick a side in this because both of y'all are crazy. Both of y'all have bleached your skin, and both of y'all have racial like identity crisis. I will say this, I don't think Mary likes black people. I don't think she likes black people at all. She was stumbling over her words. And I've seen where people have said because she's not good at wording that she just kind of stumbled on them and she didn't mean all that. I think you're racist, bitch. Let me tell you something. As a fellow light skin, first of all, hi, welcome to the club, because I know you weren't born here. Everyone's seen your pictures from the past. You have bleached. You have changed your nose. I heard that, like, you don't allow people at your church to have blonde hair, but that's some weird, whatever, we'll get on that later. Let me let you know something, because I feel like when it comes to fashion, you need help. And when it comes to makeup for your newly acquired skin tone, you need help. When I go get makeup, usually it's in the paler section. I get kind of pale because I actually do have white in me, and that attributes to that. In my section, we have beige, we have sun-kissed, sand, warm sunrise, or some other brown adjacent color. I don't think they make a cake batter an actual color, but you've managed to find that, and I wonder how you do it. Is it because you got all that money? That is crazy what money can do for you. She said it on tape that if it was sketchy black dudes that she would not go. And I completely believe it. Andy looks at her crazy. I look at her crazy. Whitney's face is twisted up. There's no defending Mary at this point. Andy asks, well, do you not like black guys? And she's like, well, they're not my taste. Okay, this part where I put a shovel over here. Even though you're digging a hole for yourself just fine, I figured I'd help you out. Black guys aren't her taste. Granted, she is married to a whole black guy. She's like, no, my husband is white. I mean, no, he's lighter skin. I prefer lighter skin. I know that because you prefer to have lighter skin on your own body. Plus, you don't love your husband or your granddaddy. You don't love your grand-husband. Now I kind of see why Jen and Mary don't like each other, because Mary is trying to throw her black card out of the window and Jen's sitting over here trying to catch it and she won't give it to her. Give your friend the black card. She wants to take the plight of a black woman so freaking bad. And here you are flaunting it in front of her and throwing it out. How dare you, Mary? Jen and Mary get into it again. Mary accuses Jen's husband of being racist, which, child, I don't know. But it triggered Jen, and I wish we could dig deeper into that, but I don't. My brain is scrambled right now. We talk about the whole comment about Lisa and Meredith being afraid of Jen, which I don't think they're afraid of her at all. But I feel like they just kind of, she's a squeaky wheel. And I feel like they're avoidant of her issues. They don't want to deal with her crap. Again, all of this could have been avoided if y'all just called Mary and asked. But I guess y'all needed to film something. Mary said, no, I didn't claim that. I just said that's what I think. Which, that's like 4 episodes there. The hospital comment, that's like 2 episodes there. So I guess strategically, we just left that in the ether and didn't call Mary at all. She's not doing anything. She's just sitting in the closet with all of her stuff. Heather says, bullshit, girl. You're afraid of that girl. You're afraid of her. Heather had all that energy for her, and I was here for it. Lisa gets angry, and then she makes this nursery rhymes about Whitney and Heather. She thinks like they're like the Hardy Boys tag teaming her with problems, and she doesn't like them together. So she goes off on this tirade, and she's like, Whitney and Heather, bad weather, spin the truth, destroy. Girl, what in the hickory dickory dock was that? Girl, Wingardium Leviosa. What the fuck? What I would do in that moment if I was Heather would just be like, I'm flour, you're glue. That shit was so weird. Andy asked Whitney and Heather why they think that Lisa isn't really friends with Jen. Heather says that she's not friends with anyone but herself, and I 100% believe that because she lives in her own bubble, and it seems like she's not used to being called out because she gets very defensive and points a lot of fingers, which I can only have so many fingers pointed at me at once. Lisa unhinges her jaw. Apparently that threw her off once again. She's a nervous wreck, and I'm actually kind of concerned. Meredith, I am a good friend to you. Meredith, tell him that I am a good friend to you. I love you. I love you, Meredith. I love you. Meredith looks so high. I want to go to Meredith's doctor and get the Meredith special, which is probably Botox and Xanax. This lady looked halfway here. I love how like all this conflict about Meredith, and Meredith couldn't give a less of a damn. Lisa is my friend 100%. Heather and Lisa go back and forth. I don't know what Heather said because Lisa will not shut the hell up, and I want to punch her in that jaw. Meredith and her husband and their relationship gets brought up once again. Meredith has had it. Listen up. If anybody, and I'm like, oh shit, she's about to lay the hammer down. She's about to go in because she's got the energy. If anybody said anything else about my marriage, you're not my friend. Really? Way to edge me into some good television, but whatever. I don't have a cock, but if I did, it would definitely have been teased in this moment. Andy asked the burning question if Mary had proof of her grandmother pawning her off to her husband. Mary says no, she doesn't. It was just, we prayed about it, we talked about it, I sucked off my granddad. Mary says that her grandmother was 20 years older than her husband. She felt bad because she snatched away his youth, but you pawn a guy who's 18 years older than your granddaughter, therefore snatching her youth. So what the hell? Andy don't believe it. I don't believe it. She's not. Girl, you run a cult. Anybody with any sense of autonomy would not follow you. Girl, you run a cult. Andy asks if Mary loves her husband. And she says, I 100% think I do. Apparently Mary was married when she was like 18, 19 years old and then divorced the guy for irreconcilable differences, aka her granddaddy had more money than him. I don't care. She keeps lying in our faces and I'm getting irritated. He had the bag. You wanted to chase it, so you got rid of the dude who would have been age appropriate for you. Andy says, are y'all physical? Like, do y'all do it? The only proof that I have that they've done it is that one child. She says, no, it's been several years, and they sleep in separate beds. I know that y'all can afford different houses, and you can afford all these clothes, and I know you can afford different beds, But why are you sleeping in separate ones? I think someone poured water on Mary and she's starting to malfunction. You can't be in a marriage for 22 years and be happy. I'm like, okay, fuck my parents, I guess. Every Chanel bag that I have, he has bought me and we're happy. We're happy. If you can find a man who can buy you a lot of materialistic shit, then go for it. Child, oh my God. I know Dr. Phil is somewhere scratching his bald fucking head. We asked Mary about love and marriage, and the first thing you come up with is things. That's kind of telling. Where are the red flags? I need a red flag. I need a red flag so I can wave it. I've never felt bad for a cult leader before, so I don't have any sympathy for Mary, but I feel like I would in different circumstances. Mary is that sad lady that is just going to be found dead and alone, buried under a bunch of shoes that have fallen over and suffocated her to death. She obviously is empty inside and is trying to fill a hole within herself with Gucci shoes. You banged your granddad, had a confused ass son. You don't even have a family tree for real as much as you have just a long vine. And it's disgusting. Andy asked about that audio that's going around about Mary calling her congregation selfish because she only got like 14, 15 birthday cards. And she's like, oh, no. I was talking about Jesus. We're talking about like a scripture from Jesus. Like the poor will be amongst you, you know? And I'm like, girl, Jesus has never cussed me the fuck out because I didn't buy him a Chanel bag. Jesus was kind of like poor, I think. Mary says that, oh, I don't take money from my church. They couldn't afford my lifestyle. Weird flex, but okay. The viewer says, why doesn't Jen and Mary just squash the beef? Because brown girls need to stick together. No, girls that want to be brown need to stick together. How dare you? Brown where? You mean on Mary's knuckles because that's the only part she couldn't bleach? We finally get on to Heather, which I think Heather is way more tolerable than the other bitches in this squad. And he touches on Heather and her sexcapades and when she hooked up, motherfucker, that guy she hooked up with at that party, and how did her daughters take seeing her mother go hunt for BBC? Heather says, look, I've broken it down to my daughters. We've talked about sex. We talked about how kissing is the kiddie pool and sex is the ocean. And apparently she wants her daughters to treat it like the swamp. She says she wants her daughters to have multiple partners. Now it would be shady and make fun of her and be like, hot girl summer. But no, I get what she said. It just sounded kind of off, but I get what Heather was trying to say. Girl, live your life. These men's is hoes. Do your thing. She's lived her life being a good Mormon girl, and she didn't live life the way she wanted to. So girl, be free. Heather and Lisa get into it again, and they show this dirty ass screenshot of Heather's fucked up phone. Lisa apparently recommended Heather for the show, yet she claims she doesn't know her. Okay, bitch. They go at it, they go at it, they go at it, they go at it. Oh my God, I want to punch them in the face. Finally, Andy's like, man, let's go to break. Everyone keeps arguing about Meredith, and Meredith kind of doesn't give a damn. She's high. She is zooted. She does not care right now. I feel like she's got a vape pen tucked in her purse. Whitney's sitting there with her hands in the pockets of her Christmas dress, just looking bewildered. And now I understand why there's 3 parts to the show, because Lisa extended it by like 3 hours. How can a show that has half the episodes that the counterpart has, but still has 3 parts, but Potomac only got 2 parts of their reunion? What I call shenanigans. And that's about it. Seems like Lisa isn't going to come back, and we're going to bring the husbands out. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll talk later. Bye.